Are we ready? So I like to kind of show you the ins and outs of French knots before we put them on our fabric. So I have my little grid here, and French knots change in size depending on how many threads you use and how many times you wrap it. So we're gonna do 3 strands and 6 strands, and then we'll wrap it once, twice, and 3 times, so you can kind of just see the different sizes. So if you want to make something like this for you to reference when you're working on things, you totally can, or not. Okay, so my kids are outside. They might be loud. We will see how it goes. I need to cut off these edges. They are very long and they will get in my way. Too much fabric is not good. Okay. So I'm gonna start with 3 strands. So I just have 3 strands and I have it tied off. So French knots, we're gonna come up from the back. We're gonna wrap 1 time around our needle, and then we're gonna go back down right next to where we came up. Not in the same spot, but right next to it. Wrap it 1 time. We're gonna pull our knot down to the bottom. Hold this pretty firmly. It doesn't have to be like so tight that you can't get your needle through it, but hold it so it's snug, and then pull your needle through. Once it gets about right here, you can let it go. And there we have our French knot. So let me do that again. Okay, so we're gonna wrap it 1 time. We're gonna go down next to it. If you go down in the same hole, you can pull your knot through your fabric. So I usually avoid that when I can. Okay, so little tiny knots. All right, so now we're gonna do it 2 wraps. So we're gonna come up the same as before. We're gonna hold this off to the side, wrap 1, wrap 2. And then go down right next to it, move our knot down to the bottom, oops. 1, 2, move our knot to the bottom, and then pull the needle through. If you wrap it too tight, it's hard to get your needle through it. So it doesn't have to be pulled like super, super tight. I'm on a video, you gotta be quiet.
I don't want to go away.
I'm sorry, that's because you hit her and she didn't like it.
No, he fell.
Oh, okay, well, she's crying, so let her have a break. I need you to go in the other room while I do my class. Thank you. You don't want to. Okay. So we're gonna wrap 2 times. We're gonna go down right next to it and then pull that through. If you have a hoop stand, it's nice because then you can use your 2 hands without having to hold on to the hoop, but it is totally doable to hold your hoop and do this, just so you know. Okay, so now we're gonna do 3. So we're gonna hold this, we're gonna wrap 1, 2, 3, and then we're gonna go down, move our knot to the bottom, and then pull that through.
See?
Yeah, I can see Gemma. She looks sad, buddy. This is how we used to do stitch-alongs, was my youngest sitting in here chatting with me while I try to teach. 2, 3, put that down, move your knot to the bottom, and then pull your needle through. Okay, so there we have Colonial Knots. So you can kind of see, like, these are itty bitty, these are a little bigger, and these are the biggest. Okay, but talk to her nicely and give her some space if she wants it. All right, so now let me show you with 6 strands. So I just have 3 strands and I just doubled it over and tied them together at the end. So we're gonna go the same as we've been doing. Up, wrap it 1 time, go down next to it, knot to the bottom, and then pull it through. So these are similar in size to this. We're gonna do one more. Wrap it one time, go down next to it, and then pull that through. Okay. Aren't those French knots easy? These are French knots. The colonial knots are going to go down here. Sorry, I should have labeled, I guess, if I'm going to do it this way, shouldn't I? 1, 2. So these are similar in size to these. And we're going to wrap 3 times. Now you can wrap more than 3 times, but once you start to wrap more than 3 times, it will start to make your French knots kind of less of a knot and more of a fluff, which is fine if that's what you're going for. I just wanted to throw that out there. 1, 2, 3. Knot to the bottom, and then pull that through. So those are our size differences. All good. I missed the first little part of the video. I don't even think I even said that. Maybe I did, but these are French knots. All right, so now we're gonna do colonial knots, and I'm just gonna show you the different sizes. So we're gonna start with our 3 strands. So colonial knots, I feel like take a little bit more work. I like to put mine down. So if you make a backwards C for colonial and put your needle up like that. Hold on, let me zoom in. Okay. So you've got your backwards C. We're gonna come up in that C, and then we're gonna wrap this around this way. So then we have like an infinity sign or a figure 8, whatever you wanna call that. Pull that snug, and then we're gonna go down like we do with our French knots. Move our knot to the bottom. Ooh. And then pull that through. So I feel like with colonial knots, I'm able to make them more uniformed. Like colonial or French knots, sometimes like they don't look the exact same, but these do. So if I'm doing like polka dots, I like colonial knots because I feel like they look a lot more uniformed. Okay, Roman, if you're gonna be in here, you gotta be quiet, buddy. All right, so we've got our backwards C. We're gonna put our needle up this way. And then we're gonna wrap this one over the top. So we've got our figure 8. Pull it snug, not too tight, and then we're gonna go back down. And then pull that through. So colonial knots, you don't wrap extra times to get them bigger. So if you want bigger colonial knots, you have to use more strands. So here's our 6-stranded colonial knots. So we've got our backwards C. We go under it, and we go over the top. They look very, very similar. If you look super careful, you can see the difference, but like in a project, they look really similar, so. That one was a little bit looser. All right, there is colonial knots. I prefer French knots. I very rarely use colonial knots. I think that they take too long, but anyways. So there is knots. So we are going to move over to our, I'm gonna need one of these needles. Move over to our pumpkin. Whoop. And get stitching. Okay, so we're just gonna fill this space. We're gonna do some pistol stitches first, and then we'll fill the rest of the space with French knots, however many you feel like doing. So pistol stitches, are like a straight stitch with a French knot on the end. So I thought we would do like some little sprigs coming out from our rows. So I'm just gonna come underneath this woven wagon wheel, so it's kind of underneath. And with a pistol stitch, we're gonna wrap it however many times you want. I'm gonna do 2. And then instead of going down right here, we're gonna go down up here. Let me zoom out just a little. There we go. And then hold this out snug. Okay, zooming out some more so you can see what I'm doing. Let me start over. Okay. We're gonna come up and then we're gonna wrap this twice and then we're gonna come down farther away. So then it's like a straight stitch and a French knot all at once. Roman, you know the rules, buddy. If you're in here, you gotta be quiet. So you can wrap it once, twice, 3 times, whatever you want. So I'm gonna do 3 on this one. Just so we can kind of see the difference. Oh, pull that needle through there. I'm gonna do one over here that's just 1 wrap. Then we'll have them in order, 1, 2, 3. Whoop. 1. Okay. Now, if you want to keep practicing those, you can fill this space with pistol stitches. I'm just gonna do a few French knots around here. Oh. I might do some more pistol stitches at the bottom. You just fill this space however you want. Hey Roman, that's too loud, buddy.
Maybe talk.
No, we're not talking right now. We can talk when I'm done. Okay, I'm gonna do a couple pistol stitches on this side as well. So you can do that straight stitch longer or shorter. Oh man, I twisted that too tight. So as long as your needle is still above the fabric, like you haven't pushed it all the way through, you can take it out and that will just untwist. So the other thing is you can put it down like this and kind of look, and if that knot looks too big or too small, you can also like take it out and redo it. So don't feel like you're stuck. Honey, go in the other room. Thank you. I'm just having a hard time getting that needle through. There we go.
What about over here?
No, go in the kitchen. Our dining room is like the center of the house. Like you have to go through the dining room to get to the living room or the kitchen. So he just likes to come through here. And he's pouring water from one cup to another. So no one is, you know, going to the bathroom in here or anything. Ooh. Dude.
Me?
Yeah, you. Get out of here.
No.
Yes. All right, I'm gonna do one more, and then it will be the same on both sides.
Right here. Like that. Not right here.
You are a goon.
Me would.
All right. There we go. That's how I'm gonna leave mine. All right, I have a few more tricks for you when doing French knots that we're gonna use to fill our flower petals. So let me grab my yellow. Roman, please go in the other room.
Oh, yeah, we're making my bedding. My bedding.
Okay, go on. Oh my goodness, children, man. All right. So I was kind of imagining like a bigger one, a smaller one, and like big, medium, small. So for a big one, I'm gonna do 3. So we've got 6 strands. I'm gonna triple wrap it, and then I'm gonna keep it loose. So 1, 2, 3. So instead of pulling this really tight on the needle, I'm gonna go and not pull it super tight. So this is still a little loose. That will make like a big fluffy French knot. You see how much bigger that is? Let me get this out. Then like, so this is triple wrapped tight and this is triple wrapped loose. And then you can kind of see that it's fluffy. So I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna double wrap it, but I'm gonna keep it loose. So I'm gonna go 1, 2, keep it loose, and then go down. I like to use French knots for like shrubbery. And so it's nice to be able to get things like, okay, hang on. This thread is bugging me. Keeps getting caught. Hold on. I didn't cut that off, so it was hanging on. But I like to use French knots for shrubs, but I like to keep them like loose so that they don't look too uniformed. Now, if you have one and it seems kind of wobbly and you're not loving it, you can come up on the edge of your French knot and then go down in the center. So when we went down the first time, we went down and tacked it here. So I'm gonna come on this side and tack it down on this side. So I'm just going right through the center again. And then I still have my French knot, but I've tacked it down twice, and so it kind of gives it a little bit more structure. I have like all these extra little threads popping up. They are driving me crazy. Oh, I didn't pull that one. Okay, well, ignore it. All right, so we're gonna come down here again. So I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, keep it loose so that it's big and fluffy. One, 2, and 1. I feel like a lot of times people think that French knots have to be like perfect. They don't. Like, look at this. There's this like little extra thread kind of hanging out. That's okay. We're not worried about perfect French knots for this. French knots are really hard to unpick, especially if you're doing a whole bunch in a row, because they're all connected. So if you cut this one out, then you have to cut this one out, and this one, and this one, and this one. So I generally try to fix a French knot before I start trying to cut them out. But most of the time I'll just leave them. Do another one on top or another one next to it. Like if you're doing something that has a bunch of French knots, then it'll just get lost. So you could do this with Colonial Knots as well and do like 3 strands, 6 strands, 12 strands. I forgot getting phone calls. Okay. That's it. That's French knots. So if you're not loving this, you could do pistol stitches. You could do Colonial Knots. You could do more lazy daisies. You're not gonna hurt my feelings if you don't love the French knots in there, but let me get this out because you guys, that's it. The other thing I was thinking, if you feel like being extra, you could add some of those like little twirlies over here. I have seen some people fill this space a little bit more, which I think turned out so cute. Anyways, that's it. We're done. So if you do not know how to finish the back of your hoops, I will do one more live next week, probably on Monday. I'm trying to think of what I have on Monday. I don't know. I'll put it in my stories later, but I will do one more live to show you how to finish the backs of your hoops if you need that. If you don't, then that's it. Finish your hoop and we're done. But I just wanted to say thank you for joining. This has been so much fun. I love doing stitch alongs and I hope you enjoyed it as well. I've been doing them every other month, so I'm planning on doing another one in November, but I'll announce it when I decide what to do and when to do it. So thanks so much. I can't wait to see your finished pumpkins and enjoy your weekend. Bye.